I've suffered from chronic illness for 16 years, and these are the main things that I hate about it. I'm going to do the worst stuff last. Pain, obviously. Being in varying levels of pain 24/7. Sucks, but there is good pain relief, and I have pain meds that do work for me. So I'm very fortunate with that. This might seem a bit odd, but I hate that people can't see how sick I am. I understand having an invisible illness is a blessing and a curse. For example, someone with severe cystic fibrosis will be discriminated against by many people just based on how they look. Whereas for me, it's the other way around. I get discriminated against because most of the time, not only do I look fine, I look able-bodied, and there's times where, thanks for doing YouTube, I now understand not only do I look all right, I look well, I look happy. There's times where I look like I go to the gym, which when someone said that to me, I was absolutely stunned that someone could think I go to the gym when it's a battle to just get dressed. For example, look at this. This is me in a pub, right? First time in over a decade I went to a pub. Wendy, who's an amazing friend, we went through PIP tribunal together. I'll put a link there. So all she wanted to do, like if ever I said to her, where do you want to go? She never wanted to, she was happy to do anything I wanted to do. The one thing she asked is, can we go out for a drink? Normally I don't do things in the evening because I decline as the day goes on. So this is her one request. At the time this picture was taken, my right hip felt like I needed a massive steroid injection into it. I was in so much pain. I wanted to cry, but I didn't have the energy to cry. I was trapped. I wasn't fit enough to drive home. I wasn't fit enough to walk to the exit of the pub. I couldn't do it. I was doing everything I could to just hold my body up. Ollie, who's leaning against me on my lap, is actually in work mode. She's pushing against the hip that hurt. Whichever hip she's against is the one that the dogs got overexcited when they saw each other, because they usually go for a walk together, and I got really badly pulled and really tweaked my hip. I just wanted to call Dan and get rescued. That's all I wanted. I was hating and regretting every second of being in that pub. But look at the picture. You would not get that from how I look. It's so difficult when you are suffering so much, you're in so much pain, you're so exhausted, but on the outside, you look fine. So people can't tell. Your loved ones, no one can really understand what you're going through because what they see doesn't reflect what you're saying. It makes living with chronic illness extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. And the way I handle this now is at the 10-year mark, I got really upset and was talking to my specialist, Dr. Packham, about it from the Hayward Hospital. Big shout out to them, they're amazing. And he said to me, stop trying, they're never going to understand. It doesn't matter how good your communication skills are, they're never going to understand until they experience it themselves. And I was like, so I should stop trying to, and he was like, yeah, just stop. They're not going to understand. And I'm happy that people haven't experienced chronic illness so they don't understand. I'm happy. I don't want people to experience chronic illness to understand what it feels like. But it makes living with it and functioning very, very, very difficult. The biggest challenge I have with severe psoriatic arthritis is chronic fatigue. Now, I've met people that have said, oh, I suffer from chronic fatigue, and then in the next breath they're saying, yeah, you know what it's like when you go out for dinner with your friends? And I'm like, no. Yeah, you know when you go out for dinner? No. I suffer from chronic fatigue. My challenges are, am I going to be able to turn over in bed so I can get my pain meds? Like, I've walked that distance, which is probably 4 bus lengths, and I'm having to sit down. Admittedly, I've done it without my Zimmer frame, so it's a good day. I'm not going out for dinner with people because I suffer from chronic fatigue. So I get, like, we have different versions of what the terminology means, of what the words mean. That's my biggest challenge. For pain, I can take pain meds. I understand that if we fight the disease, which I'm under, treatment with Hayward, and they're doing their best to fight it, the whole team there doing their best, then if we can get the disease under control, my pain and fatigue reduces. But for me, it's the fatigue that controls my life. Honestly, right now, I'm not doing very well. I got injured at a tribunal. I'll put a link to the outcome of the tribunal, because I had to open the fire doors and I aggravated my spinal arthritis, which most of the time I can pretend I don't have, because I'm like, oh gosh, that's going to be bad, isn't it, as it degenerates, as it gets worse. So I lost my job on the 30th of July due to ill health. It's now, I think, the 4th of October. And since I've lost my job, I've spent so much of that time extra sick. So normally a day in my life would be get up, bring Ollie out, do some training with her, sit at my desk for 4 to 8 hours. Sometimes I can do 8 hours, at least 4. It's been a while, it might not be in a block and it's not at the same times, but I could get those 4+ hours a day sat at my desk. And for me, that's my freedom. That's where I get to work on this. That's where I got to work on my job. That's where I talk to people on Teams meetings. That's, all my socialising and my daily achieving something. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We need to be needed. We need to achieve something. We need to bring in money. As human beings, we all have the same needs. And my biggest fear losing my job is that I'm not needed anymore, which I have very, very carefully planned that I'm going to work on PIP, helping people with PIP via YouTube, which I'll put a link to a PIP vlog. Because if you are watching this because you suffer from chronic illness, if your life is impacted as much as mine, you're entitled, and you live in the UK, you're entitled to government support. Not being able to sit at my desk has robbed me of my freedom. And it's messing with my head. It's making me feel low, really low. I'm not depressed. I know what the root cause is. The root cause is I aggravated my spinal arthritis. Once I rest enough, it will calm back down, then I'll be able to work at my desk. I don't need antidepressants for that. What I need is to wait until my body's all right for me to work at my desk. And now every day I'm able to do like an hour. So I'm slowly getting better. The worst, most heartbreaking, vile, you wouldn't wish this on your enemy part of living with chronic illness is you become a shadow of your former self. Chronic illness has taken away who I am. It's taken away my ability to achieve things. I went from going to the gym a few times a week, working in war zones as a humanitarian worker, working full-time, highly ambitious, extremely assertive, probably to a bit of a fault, to unable to put my own socks on in the space of 2 years. Now, opening a fire door is impossible for me. Well, it's not impossible, I'll just get injured if I do it. Standing hurts me more than anything. Something simple, I haven't had a sofa for probably over 10 years because I either sit at my desk or I'm in bed. Sitting in a gaming chair or a nice desk chair is in a heart attack position, leaning forward, results in pain decrease for me. Then going to bed is even better. Sitting on a sofa does not result in a pain decrease, so I just don't. And I don't have the energy to get to the living room. I can't wash my hair. I can't cook for myself. I'm not safe. I wasn't able to move to Africa full time because I have to be UK based for treatment. I wasn't able to have family. I wanted to adopt. I knew without a shadow of a doubt my daughter was in Africa and I couldn't wait to meet her. And I worry about her because I know she was there. I knew for a long time I would meet my daughter in Africa. So it goes from the basics of being able to get dressed every day, being able to wear a bra, to preventing me from having a family. Because if I can't cook for myself, I can't guarantee what time I'm going to be up, if I'm going to get up. My body can shut down with like an hour's notice and then sleep, there's no choice. So I'm not able to be a mother. It steals who you are. I think for the first 10 years, I was 10% of who I was. I was battling the arthritis plus the side effects of treatment for a decade. Then in my 40s, there came a new drug on the market, which I got to be part of a trial group. And it finally, my body took to a treatment. So with the treatment that is now available, because I'm really fortunate I live in the UK, free NHS, very, very lucky. I would say now, prior to getting injured at the tribunal, I was probably 30% of who I used to be pre-disability. Right now, I've dropped to 20%, but I will pick back up to the 30%. I know I will. My body's getting better, it is getting better. I want to end it on a positive, but my pain levels are really up. So I'm not feeling very positive today, and my channel is about positivity, so this isn't a great vlog. But what I'm gonna say is, I hope that within a couple of months, I'm back to working at my desk. I'm ahead on YouTube, because I'm not at the moment and it's freaking me out. And hopefully my office will be finished, so I'll be able to work in my tiny house office. That will make me very, very happy. And I'll have got grips of my financial situation, because that's a bit of a struggle at the moment. So, and Ollie's training will go well. So hopefully in a couple of months, she'll be able to lay down and we'll have nailed school kick-out times and going to shops. And I want to get her to push the disable button for me. So hopefully in a couple of months, things, well, it will. I know it will. It will. Of course it will. Of course it will. It will. I'm just going to stop here because I'm just going to keep repeating myself. It will. It's going to be fine. It is going to be fine. Things are going to get better. They will. Of course they will.